Yeah, former Michigan safety Jabril Peppers tested positive for a diluted sample at the NFL Scouting Combine in March, according to the media officials. Here's what it means. It means that he didn't actually fail a drug test, and everybody's basically assuming that it's marijuana or something like that, and it may very well be. But he had a diluted test, which means he drank too much water. Too much water was showing up in his system when they tested him, okay? And so this isn't a good look, man. This guy's looked at to be a first-rounder, mid-first-rounder, late first-rounder, something like that. Dynamic player. You know what he reminds me of? And I don't know if I've ever made this comparison on the show before. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. He reminds me of a carbon copy of Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger that played at LSU, now all-world defensive back, strong safety or whatever for the Arizona Cardinals. Just that type of player, not big, but very, very active. I guess to another degree, kind of like Bob Sanders as well. They used to play for the Indianapolis Colts, but that mold, a smaller safety, but tackles just like a big guy, tackles like he's 280 pounds as opposed to 215 pounds or whatever. Very aggressive, playmaker, that type of play, the Honey Badger. And so this guy, man, and he's actually frat. He's a member of the illustrious Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So it's disappointing. It's disappointing. He contends, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, he contends that in preparation for working out both days or 2 days at the Combine, because remember, he did the workout with the linebackers. He also did the workout with the defensive backs because they don't know where he's going to fall and as far as what teams are going to use him for at the next level in the NFL. So he worked out with the defensive backs and the linebackers. All right, so he says that he had to stay hydrated, and make sure that he was able to go out there and get it done. So that may be the case. What a lot of people are saying, though, in the industry, in the NFL, they're talking about the fact that this sample was diluted. All right, so I'm going to believe what the young bruh says, but I think a lot of NFL people aren't. And then you have to question whether if he was doing something and using an illegal substance and got tested for it and failed this test, and that's why he tried to dilute his sample or whatever. Like, why? Like, why, man? You knew this was coming, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You knew that this particular test they do before the Combine each and every year. And we seem like we get into all of this type of conversation anytime this comes up, anytime the draft comes around. There's always a player. Larry Tunsil last year with Ole Miss when he came out of college had the pictures of him, with the bong, smoking weed or whatever. And you say to yourself, why? You got to be smarter than this. And clearly, if he's a brother of Omega Psi Fraternity Incorporated, he has shown an academic excellence about himself. He has. So he's got to be smarter than that, but he messed up. He messed up. So I'm hoping that it doesn't hurt the young man. And listen now, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We've seen this happen many, many, many times before in the NFL. Prior to the NFL draft, more notable cases of this. Warren Sapp failed a drug test before he went into the draft, first rounder still, as well as a Hall of Famer. And even Dan Marino. People probably may not even remember this because he was drafted so long ago. Dan Marino failed a drug test, and I think it was weed, back when he came out in the draft. So, and he's the Hall of Famer, regarded as one of the best quarterbacks in history. Bad mistake. I'm going to take the young man's word for it that he was just trying to stay hydrated. I'm going to take the young bruh's word for it that he was just trying to stay hydrated and just drank a little bit too much water. And that's another thing. How do you determine if somebody drank too much water or not, whether they were just drinking too much water and they were trying to dilute the sample? Like I understand, they think that players use these masking agents some of the time, but on this type of thing, where you're talking about water, I mean, if you're the testing service, if you're the NFL, you just ass out. I almost feel like you should keep that to yourself. Yeah, the guy, he had a lot of water in his system, but we can't definitively tell if he, was using drugs or not. So it's almost like maybe you keep that, of record, and you pass it to the teams, get the word out to the teams that you got to keep an eye on this guy. But to put that out there and to promote it when he realistically could be telling the truth, I think it's bad. But any manner, if it is the latter and he did use some performance or illicit drugs and talking about marijuana, and that's pretty much what everybody's thinking, bad move, and hopefully this will be the first time. We haven't heard any more. Speaking of Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, I don't think, since he's been in the NFL, has failed a drug test. I don't believe so. I might be wrong on that. But he did several times before he came out in the draft. And the guy's an all-pro and one of the best defensive backs in the league. A playmaker. And Jabril Peppers seems like the same type of player to me. Hopefully this is a lesson learned and he can get himself together and we'll never hear about this again. Once again, guys in the past with incredible resumes, incredible careers in the NFL have done the same thing and have been all right. So hopefully he can get his stuff together, man. Y'all pray for the young man. Pray for the young Q. Hey. Hopefully he can get it right. As a matter of fact, I know one of the bros, my man Gerald. So Gerald Oliveri, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Gerald Oliveri, who is one of the engineers for the show, does a lot of the things that make it possible to get this show up on the air, and the promotion of it as well. He's a Phi chapter, bro. That's the name of the chapter in Michigan. Phi chapter, I believe it is. I'm pretty sure. And so I'm going to talk to Gerald, man. Maybe we can try to get this young man on the show at some point down the road. Gerald, if you're listening, man, let's try to make that happen. I need you to get your young chapter bro on the show. We're not going to ask him why he had a diluted sample. We're not gonna ask the young man why he got a diluted sample. We may make reference to it maybe in a small way and get his reaction. But we'd love to have Jabril Peppers on the show. Big fan of that kid, man, in his game. A lot of players are good players, but the difference between a good player and a great player is making plays. That's something that we were always taught, or something that we always talked about as players. I remember from being a little boy through high school and even in college, and everybody always talks about making plays. That's the thing that I had against Keith Brooken. If you're from Atlanta and you remember Keith Brooken, Georgia Tech linebacker, played linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons for, 12, 13 years maybe, from the state of Georgia. So everybody loves Keith Brooken. Keith Brooken was a very good player, but Keith Brooken really never made a play. Now listen, and you listen to the Doug Stewart Show. Let me back that up a little bit. I mean, of course, he probably made a couple of plays in his life in the NFL. All right, for playing that long, surely he made a big interception, caused a fumble, recovered a fumble or something like that. But if you remember Keith Brooken, he didn't make a lot of big plays. He didn't make game-changing plays. Like Keith Brooken would play a solid game, Keith Brooken would end up with like 12, 13 tackles, but if you go back and you looked at all of the tackles, he was jumping on the pile. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not lying. Tell the truth or shame the devil. Oh, Doug, you saying that just because he was a white boy? No, I'm saying that because he was a pile jumper. I'm telling you, man, you looking, right before they're about to blow the whistle, you see Keith Brooken come jumping on the damn pile, and they give him credit for a tackle. And so he had this crazy stat line, 13, 14 tackles, but he never made a play that I can remember, especially in a big-time situation, to change plays. When you talk about playmakers, you're talking about, once again, the Honey Badger. You're talking about Ed Reed when he played for the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Lewis always used to make plays, okay? Players make plays. And this kid, Jabril Peppers, man, he definitely is a playmaker, so I'm wishing him nothing but the best. Come on, youngin', get your head on right. Let's go. Come on now. Come on. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Hopefully we'll never even talk about this again. Last night, a lot of great action in the NBA. You see the title of today's show, the Atlanta Hawks making them say, ugh. Make them say, ugh. Hawks get it done last night. That's right. Hawks get it done last night. Tied this series 2 games apiece. When we get back from the break, man, we're going to jump into that action as well as the Golden State Warriors. They do their thing, and they advance. We'll talk about those 2 games when we get back from the break. Once again, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Make sure and become a premium member. The Doug Stewart Show is moving to thedougsstewartshow.com starting this Thursday morning, April 27th. Please become a subscriber, become a premium member. Go to thedougsstewartshow.com and handle your business. When we get back from the break, NBA talk, all right? NBA talk all day long today. Adrian Peterson's found a new home. Some NFL news and notes. Oh, yeah. And when we get back, I'll give you number 5 on my list of top 5 NFL draft busts of all times. We'll have some fun with that. Maste P coming back from the break as well with the music. Fun, fun, fun. All day long on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes.
Guillotine gang. You know what's good with us, nigga. Hey, yo, shooters on deck, don't get shot. I call a play, narrate the murder like Hitchcock. A bunch of bitch niggas from a bitch block, rapping all belligerent, now I murder you, bitch. My outfit militant, long time coming, crush a pussy design frontin'. Eyes wide open, wouldn't witness the 9 humming. Alpine pumping out a 79 box. Cold chillin', trying to make a living off damn rock. You can't fuck with the kid. Your whole fucking life wouldn't amount to the dumb shit I did. You must be stupid. I fuck up your swag like a 2-2-3 to the rear. Yeah, we the best, swallow that. Shit'll never change. I'ma be the one to change it if it ever change. Body armor, cognac, no champagne, blockers on, blowing loud pack. It's a man's thing. Yeah, you know what's good with us, nigga. High life, I see we out here. Yeah, monsters is real, nigga. Nigga, I been around the block. My grind non-stop, fuck that weak shit. 5 words from the wise, watch who you eat with. Do remember if it's ever in the beef shit, bring it to me hot, I'ma eat it like a deep dish. Or get the fuck on with your good talking ass. Whip the muscle out, pussies get the walking fast. Shuffling shoes, views oppose and collide. Peephole sized holes in your ride, that's the worst case. Your own blood in your mouth, that's the worst taste. Goons outside your house, down the work late. Here's the question, it's up to you to answer. What the fuck you doing dealing with them gillies in the first place? Ow, hammers on deck, spark it up. We the talk of the town, nigga, the talk is us. What's good? You want my opinion? Real talk, any nigga that ain't in my fucking army suck.
Yeah.
Please, here's to another year. Now do you believe? Lost some friends and some family we love. Don't let it get you down tonight, but then we raise it up. Hands in the air like you trying to touch the ceiling. Champagne for everyone, tonight we got the feeling. Made it through the holidays, now we back to hustling. Family versus finance, getting tired of juggling. Ain't better than nobody, I just went and climbed the ladder. So hi buddies, haters, it just sound like chitter chatter. Staring at the calendar, tired of being amateur. Looking in the mirror, time to face